Kimberly Cortez with Expedition Love. Welcome back. I'm so humbled and I'm so happy that you've stopped by and that you've taken the time out of your day to come and listen to my newest video. So welcome. Today I wanted to start talking about some skills that we can use to implement into our life so that we can start walking in agape love and start healing our thought life and start really letting go of that pain and those traumas that we've been talking about. So this week I want to start with one simple tool that we can use to do something that the Bible calls us to do, which is take our thoughts captive. In 2 Corinthians 10:5, we're told that we should take our thoughts captive and make them obedient to Christ. But what does that really mean to be obedient to Christ? Well, God tells us in His Word and through Jesus that we have two of the greatest commandments. And these two commandments were found in Matthew 22:37 through 40, when Jesus told us that we're called to love God with all our heart, and that we're called to love others and ourselves. Those are the two greatest commandments we have, and everything else hangs on us obeying those commandments. So the truth is, we really need to think about how we can take our thoughts captive. How can we take our thoughts captive so that we can be in alignment and be obedient to those commandments that Jesus called us to? You know, I just want to also remind you very quickly that the Bible also tells us in Proverbs 23:7 that so a man thinks, so he shall become. I mean, that's pretty deep. I mean, think about that. If we are constantly thinking negative thoughts, negative emotions, hateful thoughts, bitter thoughts, if we are constantly trapped in that kind of thought life, our life is going to reflect it, plain and simple. But if we can learn to take those thoughts captive, put them under submission, make our thoughts become obedient to Christ's command to love, then our life is going to start reflecting that. And I believe that's where the abundant life that Jesus promises us is at. So how important is it to learn to take our thoughts captive so that our thought life will be in alignment with Jesus' commandment, in obedience to His commandment? Very important. Very, very important. So today I wanted to start by giving you a tool that I've learned to use in my life, and it's been extremely beneficial to me, and I hope it will be to you too. And it's a tool that actually comes out of a form of therapy called cognitive behavior therapy, or CBT. And CBT is a really great tool. Basically, CBT, what it teaches is that our thoughts are connected to our emotions, and they are connected to our behaviors. Basically, there's a triangle in CBT, and your thoughts connect to your emotions, and your emotions connect to your behaviors, and they all impact each other. They all have an influence on the other. So the basic crust of CBT, the basic nutshell is, if you can learn to change your thoughts, you will change your emotions, you will change your behaviors. So that's what CBT does. It really hones in on teaching you skills that you can use to retrain your thinking. Therefore, retraining your behaviors, retraining your life. Okay? And you know, CBT is really, really great. I mean, it is so effective that it's actually been labeled the gold standard of therapy. So it's really something that I think you should take seriously, because at the end of the day, what it really does in my book is it helps us implement what the Bible's telling us to do, which is take our thoughts captive. So I'm going to share a very simple tool with you that comes straight out of CBT, and you can use it, you can implement it, and hopefully it will help you start doing what the Bible's telling us to do. This skill is so simple, it's so easy, and it's very easy to remember and implement, which is great. And it's called the stop sign tool. Okay, so basically the way that this works is whenever you notice a negative thought or a negative emotion rise up in your mind, you imagine a big red stop sign. And right down the middle of that stop sign, you imagine an acronym. S-T-O-P-P. Stop with 2 P's. And obviously the acronym is going to remind you of what you're supposed to do. The very first letter, S, is stop. Stop. Realize what's happening. Become aware of your thought life. And become aware when a negative thought or negative emotion is rising up. You know, this step alone, I'm going to be very honest with you, has the potential to really help you transform your thought life. Because the truth is, we operate in negative, automatic thoughts all the time. We're just saturated with them. Most of the time, we don't even realize they're happening. So just this simple step of learning to become aware of the negative thoughts that are happening inside your mind is really going to transform your life. So step 1, recognize that it's happening and stop. Once you've done that, you're going to move to the next step, which is T. Take a deep breath. Breathe in slow, breathe out slow. Take a few deep breaths. Help yourself to calm down a little bit, to slow your breathing down, slow your heart rate down, slow your thinking down. Okay? Once you have taken enough deep breaths that you feel yourself relaxing, you're ready to move to the next step, which is O, observe. This is very simple. You're just observing what's happening. You're observing the thought. What is it? What is the thought you're having exactly? What is the emotion? Where did it come from? You know, what's happening inside your body? Are you having heart palpitations? Are you finding yourself becoming anxious? Are you finding yourself becoming angry? Are you finding that you want to cry? Whatever it is, where did it come from? What is the thought? What is happening inside of you? Observe and take note. Once you've observed, you're going to move to the next step, which is P, the first P. Pull back. Now in this step, you're just simply going to pull back and you're going to take your observations a little deeper. You're going to really ask yourself some questions. Where did this thought come from? Why is it here? Is it based on fact or is it based on opinion? And if it's based on opinion, does it really need to impact you this deeply? Is it really that important? You know, maybe you might be believing a lie. Could this be a lie? Is this even true? You know, there's also another technique that you can use when you're pulling back and you're really analyzing this thought to try and figure out where it came from, if it's true, if it's really as important as it seems to be. And that's called the helicopter view. And basically all that means is that you want to get above your thought, above your emotion, and just try to see it from a different vantage point for a moment. Is there another explanation? Is there another way to think about this? You know, just kind of allow yourself to pull away from it, pull above it, and look at it in a different light. And you know, another technique you can use during this pullback time, this pullback step, is that you can ask yourself, you know, if my friend came to me and told me this thought or this emotion, what advice would I give them? What would I say to them? That gives you another opportunity to really think about it in a different light. Okay? Now, once you have taken the time to pull back and ask yourself those questions, you're going to move to the next step, which is the second P, and that's plan and proceed. So according to whatever you observed, according to whatever you pulled back and you asked yourself those hard questions, now you're going to use that to make a plan. Is this thought a complete lie? Is it totally untrue? If it is, then you need to dismiss it and move on. Is there maybe a little truth to it? Maybe you need to just reframe this thought. Maybe, according to when you took the helicopter view, maybe you realized you could look at it from a different vantage point. Maybe you need to reframe it a little bit and just look at it a little bit differently. maybe you need to take that really great advice you would have given your friend. Whatever you decide your plan is, you implement it and then you proceed with your day. It's as simple as that. And you know, as simplistic as this tool sounds, it really does work. And I realize it sounds like it might be really time consuming. Every time you have a negative thought, you're supposed to go through all these steps. But I want to reassure you, when you do this, it will take you very little time. You can run through these steps within seconds once you've practiced a few times. And ultimately, I think that what you're going to find is that you're going to become so aware of your negative thoughts that you're really going to start to see how most of them really just aren't true. Most of them really aren't based in reality. And it's going to become easier and easier to dismiss those negative thoughts and replace them with something positive, replace them with something good. And by doing that, by learning that skill, you're going to start to reshape your life. You're going to start to see your mindset, your anxiety go away, your depression, your, overriding thoughts that just loop around in your head. They're going to start to quiet. And you're going to start to see yourself just really operating more in a positive place. So that's it. That's the tool. Super, super simple, super easy to use. I hope you'll implement it. And one other tool I want to give you this week really quickly is a couple more meditations. Down below, I have 2 meditations, both titled Taking Your Thoughts Captive. One is a guided meditation, one's a positive affirmation. Use your earbuds on both, but these are both just more tools for you to help yourself learn some new skills in recognizing those negative thoughts, taking them captive, and putting them where they should be, putting them into submission. So I hope you'll enjoy them. If you like them, leave me a little comment. I'd love to hear about it. And last but not least, if you haven't ordered my book, the link's down below. Please get it today. And if you love it, help me get the word out. An Amazon review would be amazing. A little shout out on your Facebook or your Instagram would be really cool. Whatever you can do, whatever you have time. Because like I've said before, I'm an unknown indie writer and I really need your help. That's the bottom line. Nobody's going to know about this book unless you guys help me. So I hope you will. And I hope you love the book. I hope it really starts helping you move towards thought life healing. And I hope this skill will do the same. And I hope the meditations will do the same. So come back next week. We're going to talk about some more things that we can do to start really helping our thought life heal and moving in the direction of a positive, loving, healing mind that will allow us to daily walk in what we're supposed to walk in, agape love. That's the goal. That's where we're going with this. So thank you. Thanks for coming. I hope it blessed you, and I'll see you next week. Peace and blessings.